Oh my goodness, Vegas Live with Ninon is on a vast place today. We have had so many interviews and each subject is so different and so interesting, and the knowledge coming out is amazing. A lot of things I know and a lot of things I certainly do not know but have learned tremendously. I now have Joel Martinez with me, and we're back into the movie industry. You are a producer, a cinematographer.
Yeah, cinematographer and director around town.
And director around town. And so, what do you do? What's your most recent thing that you have directed or produced or you have out there?
Well, the most recent thing that comes up is I did an Empty Vegas video.
MTV?
Yeah, Empty Vegas. So Las Vegas, you know those 2 weeks when the city was empty, like nobody in the strip?
Oh, yes!
So I made a video about that, and so it was drone shots, it was a camera on the ground, it was... we're never going to see Vegas like that ever again.
It's funny, I did the same thing. I took some moving photos just on my little cell phone, and I did some pictures and everything. I couldn't believe what it was.
It's different. It's different, and I felt like...
Did you get it when it was all overgrown?
I got it when it was completely empty, like
That's
nobody.
Right, yeah. But a lot of the front of the hotels were overgrown.
Yep. Yeah.
And I couldn't believe that. I thought at least they could spend money on keeping the outside up, and they didn't even do that.
They got nothing.
They didn't. And I was so shocked on that, because I thought with all the money in the entire world, we can at least keep Vegas Strip.
Yeah, like make it look good. It was I felt just because of my profession that this was something that I had to do, is document it. And I'm not necessarily a documentary filmmaker, but I have the skills, and I was like, well, this is one way I can document history.
And do something, because nothing was happening anyway, right?
Yeah, I mean, the mentality of just going out there and deciding to film and put yourself out in danger. At the time, we had no idea
this was going to happen.
We had no idea. We had no idea what the virus could do. We didn't know anything about it, so it was just straight quarantine.
We were like kind of thrown into it, weren't we?
Yeah.
Very fast. I remember it was March 13th, I'm not sure. And it was 10 o'clock in the morning, and I got a phone call. It's a small little building I own, Charleston. And I got a phone call from my tenant saying, we have 2 hours to get out. And I said, 2 hours to get out of what?
Yeah, when you leave.
To leave.
Yeah.
And they literally had 2 hours to leave. I could not believe this. And I don't think any of us realized until this point. And I think this was kind of all over the world. That the same thing kind of happened within a couple of days or whatever. You are young. What did this do to you, to your mind? What did you think when this happened?
Well, that's what I was trying to mention, is that I just had it in me that I am young, and if anyone's going to take a risk, like, why not me, somebody who can probably last through it? Because again, we had no idea if it was something that was on concrete only, and if it was only airborne, we had no idea. So I was like, well, might as well. Like, this is the chance. So it was just really.
So you grabbed the opportunity. You grabbed an opportunity.
I had to. Well, I had to. I had no choice.
No,
I would regret it.
You didn't have to, but you realized that this is what you should do.
Exactly. I think in my brain I had no option.
No, because you weren't doing anything anyway, right?
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, you were doing certain things, of course, not completely empty-handed. There's still things we can still do, but you took this opportunity. As a young person, of knowing the Strip and knowing Vegas, of the activity and the prosper and the, busy all the time. People, lights, everything. The only time it was really quiet was probably from about 8 in the morning to 12. Vegas Boulevard is quite quiet, because everybody's sleeping, but then it starts the active and hungover. Young people drink. So when you were filming this and you were realizing what really had happened, what went through your mind?
I just wanted to play my part and try to have everything come back to normal. So I was seeing a lot of videos online, because I didn't post mine until 2 weeks after the whole thing happened. So people went immediately and put theirs out, and I just didn't like where people added scary music or they made the image look scary. And I wanted to do a take where you really saw what it was. So when you see the video, the colors I didn't do anything but just make it look like what it did. I didn't make it look any different than it was.
So it's all natural.
Right. It's all natural.
Like we're on live streaming. We've been on live streaming all day.
Yeah.
This is what it is, just like this. Nothing is prefabricated or anything.
And I think just the fact that when you see the video, you see how normal it looks, and you realize what that caused, how much money the city lost, how many lives were lost. Like you just kind of look at it, you're like,
reality stepped in.
Yeah, and I have so much footage, but this one specifically is like a minute and a half, so I can.
Only a minute and a half.
That one's meant to kind of in a short period of time show people
what happened
quickly. Yeah, and I have hours and hours of footage.
Are you ever going to make that into a documentary or something?
I'm gonna eventually sell the footage because it's valuable stock footage.
Very valuable.
You're not gonna see Vegas. Nobody's gonna close down the street unless you're a super high artist or super high filmmaker. You know, so like empty is just no casino wants that. When I did, I was a cinematographer for Vegas.com for 2 years, so I shot all the commercials and promos.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And even for us, they didn't close the casinos down. They said, for example, we filmed for Chica. For Chef Lorena Garcia, she's an amazing woman. They were like, yeah, our slowest times are between 4 to 6 a.m. So we had to do an entire 12-hour day of filming on top of showing up early so we can get that time period.
Get that time that they're going to give to you to film in there. And to do it. Yeah, we go through the same thing actually. We film what we can film because they're busy at night.
Yeah.
Doing their thing, making their money.
There's a lot of accommodations, so it's really fun. I mean, I just mentioned the Empty Vegas video, but I do a lot of. I just had a feature film come out in theaters, like I'm going to say a little less than a year ago. We filmed it 3 years ago, but obviously COVID prolonged it.
Yeah, everything prolonged everything.
Everything.
And how successful is that on? Where is that? Where is that on streaming? Or
it's in the film festival route right now. And it's won a ton of awards.
What is a film festival route? I know what it is, but what do our audience know?
It's when you submit your film and to a bunch of different film festivals, locals and international ones, and super well-known ones. And it's an honor to be officially selected to some of them. Even just to be acknowledged is great because this was our first one. It was a Brendan Award from UNLV. Hunter Hopewell was the director. I was a cinematographer. And it's just kind of where you test your waters and you see how well your film did.
Yeah.
And I think it's an amazing outcome, especially coming out of UNLV.
Absolutely, but also being able to put what you've put together and what you've done, and then put it into all these festivals. Now, how many festivals are there? There's probably quite a lot.
Oh, there's a ton, but making it into the top 100 is a big deal, you know.
Well, wait a second. You have a top 100?
Well, there's a top 100 of film festivals that you generally want to apply for.
You want to?
Yeah.
Well, this is information that we all need.
Yeah.
So does that come all the way down to the top 10 and the top 20 and the top 30, or how does that work? Because you win something in the top 100.
Well,
from there you can go to the next one.
Well, from experience, actually, the first film festival that I early on was actually Cannes. I was a cinematographer for a short film, and it won it was like top 5 of the Emerging Filmmakers Showcase in Cannes.
How amazing! Congratulations! That's amazing. Top 5 in Cannes.
Yeah.
The film festival Monte Carlo, I guess it's the Monte Carlo scene. It's actually the south of France. Cannes is the south of France. So that's big.
Big deal. It was awesome for the school. A big thank you to Tyler Yarbrough, the director, and Melissa, the producer. They put in a ton of work, and
Well, so didn't you?
I just make sure it looks great and it follows the story. And after that, I'm very thankful if it makes people happy. That's the point.
Did that brings you up in the world of what you do? So you now got this.
Yeah, it helps out a lot.
Resume.
It's super important just so people know that you're serious.
Yes.
That especially because I'm on the younger end of professionals when it comes to the video stuff and going out in the city and the world. I just need to know that people take me seriously. So it's easy to be like, hey, this is what I've done.
So now you can get employed or you get booked for different movies and things because you are serious in your work. And that's very important because a lot of people, they seem to think the film industry sometimes is a little lackadaisical. You just get a movie here, you get a movie there.
Oh, right.
It's not really that way at all.
I want to make a movie. Can we do it tomorrow? And it's like, we got to film for 30 days.
You've got to put the thing together.
You've got to plan it.
You've got to plan it.
Yeah.
Do you do a lot of the planning too?
A lot. So that is one part that I think makes a professional video very different from somebody who doesn't plan. There's areas where you don't have to plan, but I think it never hurts to plan. In fact, it makes it much better.
That's because planning is always better.
Yeah, a big factor is lighting. So there's lighting diagrams that I draw, so I get an idea of the. So if I were to come here, I would be like, okay, I'm gonna kind of draw what it looks like, and then I'll literally in a paper put where the lights are going to be before I even arrive.
Are we okay?
You know, we're doing good.
Check it.
You got an eye light on my face. I love it.
Yeah. I'm going to highlight you because I'm nothing. I'm here all the time. The guest is important to me. Of what you do and how you do that.
That is exactly how I think
who you are.
I'm filming this. The most important thing is what the people see on the image.
Yes.
So if it's just the face in the background behind us, you pay attention to what's only there.
Yes.
If you have a wide shot, you have to remember what the background is. It's like a painting.
Yeah. Is that enough? Should that be in? No. So let's move the camera this way. Let's move it that way. So it's the actual picture. I'm very into that. I'm very into sound and lighting. I think they're very, very important.
Extremely. And also, I think eyeline's huge. If somebody is giving emotion and you don't have the camera on their face, then you just miss something. You miss the audience.
You miss that incredible emotion when they're saying something so truthful to what they're bringing out there, because an actor is an actor, and sometimes when you catch a moment, which I call a moment in time, and when you catch those beautiful moments, then that's what makes the film, actually, when you catch that crazy moment.
Yeah. And a lot of those, I like to really point out that you can prepare as much as you can, but you also got to remember, some things are improvised. So I like to go with 90% preparation, and then let yourself be willing to improvise.
Change a little bit.
Yeah, if an actor's there and they want to change it up and it works out, then let them. And before you know it, that's the best shot in the film.
I was going to say, and sometimes my thing I've always noticed a lot is the first take is the best.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny how a first take really gets it, and you can keep going. I mean, I know people doing 10, 20 takes on one little thing, and it's like, go back to the first one, because that's the best one.
There are people where you can't, they start high and then just go lower and lower.
They get exhausted trying to do the same thing all the time.
Yeah, and with film, that's the nature of the medium. You're going to do so many takes. I don't want to really point out a lot of directors, but I think we all know that some directors will do 150 takes just for that moment, just to frustrate
you. It won't work. As far as I'm concerned. Too many takes.
They're in a whole other area. It works for them, but for me, I agree with you. I like to just really prepare for it.
That moment in time.
Yeah, capture it and move on, because there's a lot more to grab.
There is a lot more to grab. There's a lot more to do, but also that reaction, that first reaction, they're all high, they're all cool. Now, what's coming up for you?
I am doing a film series right now where I'm working with locals. I'm trying to specifically just narrow it down because I want to showcase talent in Vegas when it comes to filming.
Am I talent?
Absolutely.
I'm talent.
Absolutely. Don't be surprised if you see her in the film. But wait, let me tell you about it before you say yes.
Yes.
I'm doing a series. I've filmed the first episode, and it's called Til Death Due Us Part, and it's about every short film is going to have different characters and the same ending. And the film is about how people handle what's happening. And what's happening is an asteroid's hitting Earth. And you get to see human beings really deal with this before their last moments, their inevitable last moments. So I started out with a couple, which is the first episode. I got accepted into the Damn Short Film Festival this year, which is in less than a month at Boulder. And the second one I'm currently filming. I have half done, the other half I'm filming. And it's about a family dealing with it. So for that one, I'm going with a disagreement between the parents. Mom is for telling the children, but how do you tell the children that they're going to die? And Dad's like, no, you shouldn't tell them. And then the third one.
What was this? Yeah, you're yang thinking.
Because what are you going to do? It's a really tough choice.
It's typical of a family life, actually, because the one parent will say this and another parent don't say this. This is a typical family life. So.
And now you're dealing with explaining death to a child. What is that? And you can't.
I just got her. Now you talk about death.
I mean, I'm young, and I gotta really make sure that I learn everything about life, and death is part of it, so I can enjoy life.
Yes.
That's the point of the series.
See, I'm not afraid of death. I've reached a jolly old age anyway, but I've had an incredible life, and I've always said if I die right now, I've had the most beautiful life any woman can have. I have. I've had the most beautiful life. I appreciate and loved a tremendous, probably 90% of it. There's always parts of your life you don't like, and I've had parts I don't like, but majority, on a whole, I've had the most beautiful life any woman could have, truly, and I love it. So, till death do us part.
Till death do us
My
part.
life.
There it is.
There it is. How can anybody reach you?
I have 2 places that I mainly go. Sorry, I got distracted with it. There's 2 places. My website is joelmartinezDP.com, and then my Instagram is Instagram/joelmartinezDP.com. There you'll be able to see all kinds of work. I do narrative work, which is films and short feature films.
Okay.
I do modeling, fashion. I do music videos, and then I also do commercial work, which is my main work. So Venetian, Park MGM, Grand Canal Shops. I was the first cinematographer to fly a drone in the Grand Canal Shops.
Oh, really?
And that was really tough, and I know why now. But we pulled it off.
but you got it done. You
Yeah.
got it done. Well, anytime you can use me in a commercial or whatever you can do with me, I don't know if there's anything left to do with me, but maybe there's something, I don't know.
Absolutely. Are you kidding me?
But thank you, Joel, for coming on. Absolutely amazing. Up and coming director, producer, cinematographer, all the above. Absolutely wonderful. Watch out for his name, Joel Martinez, and we'll be right back. Don't forget, we've got Pureza, where we are filming this incredible restaurant. It's Mexican cuisine, which means it's a little bit up there. A little bit. It's not just the regular old tacos and all this stuff. The ambiance is amazing, especially at night. They've got all these beautiful, pretty lights. Isn't it pretty here?
It's really pretty. I love the background here. I'm already thinking like a filmmaker. I'm like, I want to film here.
You want to film here? Well, I got news for you. We can help you.
Oh, great.
Absolutely, we can get you. The owner is wonderful. Absolutely. What's his name? Ronnie?
Mhm.
Anyway, the owner will open arms. He loves anything that enhances his restaurant. And of course, they're all looking for business and looking for customers and people. People are still afraid to go out a lot, but don't be afraid. It's beautiful here. It's wonderful. We shall be right back with our next guest. Take care.